Hello, welcome to a video for Pursuit of Cobra Wave 2 Arctic Threat Destro, the weapons supplier. So there we have Destro, and let's go ahead and look at the packaging that Destro comes in. So here's a closer look at the packaging that Destro comes in. We have a Cobra symbol down here in red, his name Destro in red as well. Weapons supplier is in white. For the most part, he's always been the Cobra weapons supplier. Now, he did also sell to different companies that were, wanting his manufacturing plant designs, and he also most likely sold to different countries that were both battling each other, because as long as they're fighting, he keeps making money, and then that means more money for Mars Industries and more money for Cobra. Now, he did leave Cobra in 1988 as a figure, and also in the Marvel run of comics, he became the leader of the Iron Grenadiers. I don't remember exactly why he left. Don't think I started reading the comic until in 1990-ish, pretty much when it almost was about to go away. I don't think I knew or had the money and didn't know that there was a comic at that time. I just knew the cartoon and the figures. Then in the Rise of Cobra, he ends up being a bad guy, but he's working for himself, but also Mars Industries. And later, he ends up getting hurt and becomes under the control of Cobra Commander. So that kind of makes sense why Cobra Commander is in charge and why Destro is the weapons supplier. Now we have a portrait of the Destro figure and character here. This figure's head is the same as the figure head that came with the first Destro, but they actually have colored in his eyes. They're green now, so you can say they're nanomite filled, after he's been healed for the most part. This auger right here that I'll talk about later wouldn't have came with him, and his eyes probably wouldn't have been colored green because they would have just kept using the head mold of the actor and the previous figure. But maybe because this is supposed to be a continuation of the Rise of Cobra toy line, this green is now because he's under the control of Cobra Commander and has the nanomites going through him. Then we have a new G.I. Joe logo for the line up top, number 1012, Destro in white, and another Cobra symbol. Now, I had been talking about this sticker anytime I did a video, and it's your new TV network, hubworld.com, and I was really, wishing I had it, even though I'm thankful for the people that have been able to get clips and whole episodes of Renegades on YouTube. So there was really no reason to get the cable package with it. And I'm also kind of happy that I didn't, because if you've been following the talk that's been on the boards and possibly, all kinds of different websites and maybe even YouTube, is that Hasbro has said that the hubworld.com G.I. Joe cartoon Renegades has been put on hiatus. I really hope it is just hiatus and that it hasn't been canceled. Now, it seems kind of odd to me, and I've posted this other places too. Why are they canceling G.I. Joe Renegades right? The summer pretty much is when we're going to get the last episode. They might keep doing reruns until it does come back, if it does. But they're going to end it in the summer, and then that's pretty much the fall is when we're going to get the new Renegades characters as toys. Hopefully, hopefully they won't be canceled, even though the cartoon's been canceled. And it just seems kind of odd that they're going to release figures, and then the time that the figures are coming out, there's not going to be a G.I. Joe cartoon. And why Hasbro's decided to do that, or the press release that thankfully was put up online, is that they want to focus on and have the movie that's going to come out in the summer of 2012, hopefully, the one that is the main concern, and forming the G.I. Joe mythos. But it just seems kind of odd that for basically a year we're not going to have any G.I. Joe cartoon, and so that's kind of a bummer. The other thing I can maybe think is that maybe they want to go in a new artistic style and a new look, because I was going to do this originally when it did happen, but I guess this is kind of a good spot to talk about it, is that in January, I think it was the end of January, if you haven't already seen this, we had the head designer of G.I.Joe Renegades, Clément Sauvé. He passed away at the age of 33, I want to say, and I just turned 34, so that really hit me, not only because of how much I didn't know about him, and you know that I found out that he did so much other great artwork, and he even did some Devil's Due comic covers that I have while I was collecting that comic. And so maybe that's what it has to do with too, is that now that Clément Sauvé is not able to continue his work, if there was more work to be done, because maybe he hadn't designed everything, maybe they just decided that now's, you know, the best time to stop it. So here we have the card back. As detailed and different as the front is, the back of the card back is just as detailed and impressive. Most of the time you'll have photographs of figures lined up, or you'll have artwork of the figures lined up. This time with this card back, they've gone more for a diorama. So you can see there's two wolfhounds here, which is what the little G.I. Joe vehicles are being called in this wave. And then we also have the snow serpents back there with the ice cutter, it looks like one of those. And then Destro, and we have Snowjob here, because you can kind of make out his goggles and a little beard, a little orange beard. And then I'm thinking this is the Snake Eyes that came out for the Rise of Cobra. And then we also have Crouch Down White out. Also get ID clearance badges instead of file card. One will tell you about what Destro is, or the figure is about, or it will give more of a play scenario. So again, I think that's a really great idea, even though I am a fan of the more detailed file cards. But it does say Destro. Destro supplies weapons to Cobra and designs highly advanced weaponry that he sells to the highest bidder. He uses a frost cannon, his own creation, of course, to flash freeze ambush G.I. Joe troopers during a battle at Cobra Manufacturing Plant in a remote area of Greenland. And then it says his mission equipment is an AMMO Advanced Marksman Multi-Optic Rifle. And I thought that was really cool how somebody pointed out that it's an AMMO, and it's actually ammo if you read it, you know, without the periods. So let's go ahead and open Destro up. So here we have Destro, and he comes packaged with him holding one of his ice picks right here. And we'll take that out of his hand for a moment. And then I have Destro with his goggles down, and they are kind of tight, and that way you won't lose them, but they do take a little bit of a struggle to push them down. Now he's got green glowing eyes. You can say that that's the nanomite that's running through him, because if you're following the movie, he gets this chrome face because he needs it after being attacked. So, or a mistake, you know, I guess you could call it that. Very, very detailed. Lots and lots of detail throughout the figure. He's even, you know, if you remove the jacket, you can see that there's all this other stuff inside, and he's very much like Firefly. How Firefly, even if you take off his armor, he has more detail underneath. So very, very different for Hasbro to do that, because most of the time they'll reuse parts and just put something over the top of the part. So the fact that they're actually spending this much detail. So I haven't gotten the Wave 4 Destro yet, so it'll be interesting to see if he still has this underneath him. But lots of reds and blacks and snow kind of could be seen what all this is, and ice. But it's really the head. I really like the fact that they decided to frost his head, because that would really happen if he was out in the snow and the ice. And I think it just adds to the coolness of the figure, and when I saw it I was very excited, because I know some people don't like when they have Arctic or desert or a certain environment that a figure is supposed to take place in. But I think it's been such a long time for me with G.I. Joe that we've never really gotten that. So unless you're a customizer, you really aren't going to have an Arctic Destro and an Arctic Cobra Commander and on like that. So I'm really happy to have this Destro, and that's one of the things that I really like is the frost on there. It's just kind of cool. So then he comes with these frosted ice sickles right here, and we saw them online before the toy came out. It was that he's supposed to spray another G.I. Joe figure with his cannon. So here is his cannon. It's got another fun play feature on it. You're going to push in this button, put this in a glass of water, and then when you let go of the button, it's going to suck in water. And it sucks up water, and then it just about gives you one shot. So Destro does have a hole in the back of it. This jacket here, it's a little bit hindered by this hood that comes down, and then there's also another hole within the figure. So you will have to put it into the figure and then kind of push it until you line it up with the hole that's in the figure. And then here he is holding his gun. Holds it really well. Boom, 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 boom. Or what kind of sound does a freeze ray make? Something like that, I guess. This is my little sound effect. There you go, Dave. And then the idea is that you would take Snake Eyes here, and you would have this piece right here goes on the shoulder of the figure that you're spraying, and then this piece right here would go either on an arm, or you can put it on a leg like that.